Hello everybody and welcome to the first video recording at the end of week 1 of the English as a Medium of Instruction for Academics MOOC. So I'm Rob in person this time.
And I think I'm Mary in person. So welcome, it's lovely to be able to speak to you directly.
Yes, and I think we should start by saying a huge thank you to everyone who's been involved in the discussion, who's taken part, who's remained with the course, watched the videos, and they've opened up a lot of discussion on some very interesting themes. We've got a diverse group this year, and yes, it's really interesting to see who's taking part and what you have to say. So thank you for that, and I think Mary, you can mention some names.
Yes, excuse me, I have to put my glasses on. People who are very noticeable in the discussion groups are Erkan, excuse my pronunciation, Erkan, Rebecca, Maria, Peter, Elena, who are really engaged. We can see this, and we know that there will be other people who are equally engaged but haven't so far risked participating in the MOOC. So do please make that leap of faith and join us in the discussion groups. Some of you are experienced EMI teachers and teacher trainers and have a lot to contribute, and some people are sort of beginning their EMI journey, and it doesn't really matter where you are on that journey. You know, ask the questions or support people who are asking the questions with examples from your experience, and we really do appreciate that. So thank you very much. We want more.
And yes, and just to reinforce, we've talked a lot, and we will talk as we go through this course about things like classroom management, inspiring and motivating students to be part of a community of learning. And we'd very much like, I think we've made some great steps already, but we'd like to reinforce this idea for this course. If somebody is commenting and you're reading the comment, maybe you don't have something great and wise to say, to contribute to the discussion, but maybe you think somebody else contributed something great. You know, why not reply to them and tell them that you like their ideas, or just click like.
Yeah,
just
a simple will be
so
fine.
other people know you are reading what they're writing and that you're engaged with the course. And I think it's a nice way to realise that there are more people around us and build a positive community spirit as we go through. So.
Yeah, and that word community is really important to us. As well as discussing EMI, which is obviously the objective of the MOOC, it's an opportunity to make friends in different countries and share your experiences. Lewis mentioned this about making friends, and we have friends from previous courses actually participating on the MOOC this time. I have to mention Myrna, and I have to mention Susan as well. And it's lovely to think that they have participated once already and have come back to share their knowledge and experience with people who are new to the MOOC.
And some great insights as well.
Great
and
insights,
good materials being shared too.
Yes,
which is
Susan had a wonderful link that she shared with us. I haven't had a chance to look at that properly yet, but that was wonderful. So if you'd like to think of this as being more than a course, but an opportunity to join a community, and that community will be sustained after the course has finished, because we have a Facebook group, and I know not everybody's on Facebook, but there will be other opportunities in the future to keep the community going. So thank you for that, and please think of it as being more than a course.
And in terms of the content, I saw a good link here.
Oh, wonderful.
Always good to keep coherence as we go through. There are some parts of the community, I was going to say some negative aspects. There are positives and negatives within the world in which we live. English as a medium of instruction, practices and forces. And some of the discussions have been really, I think, realistic. People are not attacking, but they're not also blindly positive to English in academia. And I'd like to just mention Erkan's he mentioned publication And also a few people have been mentioning possible discrimination when it comes to recruitment and things like this. So the trend of internationalization and the trend of teaching through English does come with considerations that the community has to be aware of. You know, we have to look out for these things. And a very good point, lots of people in universities lack teacher training, especially teaching through an additional language. And because the way they're recruited is often how many publications you have and in what language or what status of journal or publisher are you publishing with. And that's often the evidence that you are an academic and you are able to teach. So again, we want to look at this picture, but make it a realistic picture. So we don't want to prepare you for a false world of EMI. We want to look at the practices that are going on and make other people aware of where there could be problems for our colleagues in the world of higher education. So thank you for raising that. There have been some really interesting discussions, and I would invite other people to join those discussions if you can, because again, you will have different experiences of this. And perhaps publications, people might have different experiences of how language has been a factor in being published and in your career progression. So it's all relevant to what we're talking about. So thank you for that.
One of the difficult areas that people have spoken about is the difficulty of sustaining the use of the English language in perhaps a monolingual context. And we do realise how difficult that can be. And alongside of that is the issue of motivation, how to keep your students motivated in perhaps a monolingual context. We have no magic solution to this. All we can say is, keep going, and perhaps other colleagues on the course can suggest little things. And often it is just little things that you can change that gradually make things a bit better. But we do acknowledge that it's not some marvellous magic solution, this course. We can't change the situation that you're in, but we can say, keep going. There's a great future ahead for you and for your students if you can persevere going down this EMI route. So addressing issues of motivation and building confidence in your students to speak English in the classroom, and confidence in yourself as well to keep going and to have that belief in yourself that you can teach through English is really important, more important than the words.
I like that.
Over to you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and I think I'd just add to that how the discussions that are specific that we've had from people who are contributing on the discussion boards have brought out how complex the idea of I can speak English well or my students can't participate in EMI well. When we scratch the surface, metaphorically, we'll look at that next week, we start to see that, yes, it is about emotion, it's about confidence, it's about perhaps pronunciation, fluency, grammar, vocabulary. There are so many skills, aspects of knowledge and aspects of just identity that are in the room that can be covered by this word. I find it difficult to participate in an English language classroom. And it's and in that way, I think we realise part of the solution is isolating what we need to work on, what we need to avoid doing in the classroom to make problems bigger, and what we need to do to make them smaller. So again, thank you for the discussion. It does lead slowly but surely towards like a shared idea of what the problems are so that we can address them. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I think sometimes we dwell on the negative, don't we? We think so much about the things I can't do or my students can't do, when sometimes we have to shift over and think what we can do. So somebody mentioned that one thing that the students can do in class is read, but they're very slow to actually speak in English. So this is something that we really have to highlight with students in that particular situation. They can read a text in English. So gradually, perhaps we can move to then asking questions about the text in English, trying to go gradually and slowly building their confidence to talk about that reading text in English. And I know it's difficult, but all we can do really is persevere.
Okay.
What else did we want to talk about?
I have a list of things, but I'm wondering if we could save some for ongoing discussion, perhaps?
Well, exactly. We don't want to say everything today because we know how much you're looking forward to next week.
Exactly. Your time can be spent commenting and discussing with other people rather than listening to us.
Yeah.
Although we do appreciate you watching these videos and taking part. So.
Yeah. We have noticed that quite a few people from Brazil have joined recently. That's fantastic. I've been reading a little bit about Brazil and the momentum that EMI is experiencing at the moment in universities in Brazil. And quite a lot of you are teacher trainers. You have responsibility for implementing aspects of EMI in your universities. So we really do need to hear from you, and collectively the community can help you to put together your teacher training courses. I just have to mention Elena before we finish, because Elena has what I've called my quote of the week. She said, "EMI is alive in my lectures." I think that is lovely. I was so delighted to read that. So thank you, Elena, for that. We'll see who has the quote of the week next week. So have a good week. We will see you next Friday. Well, for us it's Friday. For you it'll probably be the Saturday or the Sunday or later. So bye-bye for now.
Yes, bye-bye, and thank you again for participating.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.